welcome back into the Blueprint Lounge. Definitely hope you guys can hear me. I am out and about, sitting in one of my many favorite places today, and I just wanted to come through because I wanted to do a little recap on the series that I just closed out, Rehumanizing Hiring. You know, the truth about talent and test. I fairly enjoyed that. I could say that it was truly a test for me, because I did do a lot of research and planning when it came to this, and even though it didn't come out perfect, or the way that I would have loved it to, I hope you guys got the message behind it. And within those 5 days, we had 5 episodes. So I was hitting you with the episode a day. And honestly, there was a lot of growth within that series. Things that were brought to light for me as I was doing my research, and things that I hope you guys gained from it. I started this series because I wanted to talk about how, the workplace has forgotten how to see people, and what it looks like to bring the human lens back into leadership and in hiring. And so with going through this, with the 5 different episodes, these are some of the things that I pulled out that was very helpful, something that, was very much needed, and I hope people learned, about. And one of those things was clarity through consistency. And that basically is just showing up every day, taught me that clarity comes from commitment and not just the perfect plans. So in that would, be talking to the first episode that I dropped and just peeling back those lens about the hiring process overall and these assessments that they give out nowadays, okay? And then the second point was human stories, just really realizing as a company that the assessments just aren't, test scores. You don't just go through assessing people, giving them a score and passing them on. We really have to start doing our own due diligence and really learning how to utilize those assessments as tools, because that's what they're there for. Not just an end-all to be-all type of solution to closing out what you could be really missing out on, which is a really good potential person. And then, of course, we had this point here is what hits the most, because this seems to be an ongoing thing throughout decades and decades, right? How I feel like leaders must re-engage before, they just replace. It's that replacement culture that is destroying a lot. And I say that because, yes, in fact, you do have sometimes where you do have to move along. You do have to let someone go, but don't let that be your answer to workplace toxic cultures. And you not doing your due diligence as a leader to re-engage some of these employees that really are your heavy hitters, that really bring a lot to the table. And just because you don't want to hold yourself accountable or the company accountable for fixing some of the issues that probably can be fixed, that's unfair. So we definitely had that. And then respect must match requirements. And that was talking about these assessments and going through the process of, putting out these ads for hiring and things like that. And a lot of times these companies, you can sit down as a potential candidate and spend almost an hour, sometimes hour and a half, with completing an application or submitting your resume, going through these assessments and whatever else, this company decides to do. And you can spend that much time on doing that, but then the pay only equals out to something that honestly a high schooler or someone in their very beginning stages of college should be receiving. I've talked about that, going through some of these assessments and things that I did just to see that the pay range was between 18 and 22 an hour. And again, I'm here in Maryland, so it just didn't add up for me. You know what I mean? To put a potential candidate through all these hoops to only come out and to get paid that. But not only that, if you have an assessment attached to it, to know that that company is not even going to really look at anything other than to pass you along because you probably didn't score high on something. And who knows, you might have been, very nervous, anxiety ridden, so these things happen. And then it's just humanizing the overall hiring experience. We need to learn how to build systems that really measure the fit and growth, not just going by scores again. So those are like the 5 key points that I pulled out and what I spoke of during this series. And I really do hope that it was very insightful, helpful, maybe conversational, to where, companies will sit back and start having real conversations with themselves. Do I expect this to really make a dent or some kind of change? No. Do I think it's a starting point? Yes, because these are real conversations that we need to really be having in regards to the hiring process and how far we've come. Like, technology and stuff is good, but we still have to remember to be engaged. And I think that's a big missing component to a lot of things when we're integrating all these different technology, and now we're in the age of AI and things like that. And what I fear is that, honestly, a lot of companies are going to be passing over some really good qualified candidates based upon what they want to go by, which is the new trend, the new fad, the whatever. And if it's hard for you as a leader or a hiring person to make good, sound judgments, sometimes you might need to start questioning yourself. We're not always going to get it right. And sometimes I honestly say you really truly don't know what you're getting until you get that person in the door. So even that person that might scored high, you call them in and you thinking that, you chose the right person, they get in there and they fool you. Because trust me, I've seen that too. But this series, again, was more than just creating content. I wanted to bring awareness and kind of make a commitment to those who, this has happened to, because it has happened to many of us. And, just goes to show how I want to lead and how I want to coach, and if you missed any of the episodes, definitely head over to my YouTube page. Look out for the Blueprint Lounge and, go ahead and tune in and watch that series. It's called the Rehumanizing Hiring. And then I decided to do another series, guys. It'll be dropping next week. And over the course of the 5 days, Monday through Friday, we are going to be locking in and talking about the corporate double standards. So I'm super excited about that. I've been doing some research and things like that just to get everything lined up for this next series to come. So definitely stay tuned. And if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe so you don't be missing anything, okay? But again, thank you guys for watching, sharing, and reflecting with me this past week. I hope to see you this week coming. And just stay tuned for more conversations that's going to challenge this corporate system. And hopefully, out of this, we do some healing as a whole, both company and the people that it affects. So until next time, I hope you guys stay blessed, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.